really important that we begin to change the mindset of young people to know that your vote counts.
They don't understand that the legislative arm of government is actually a co-equal arm of government.
We have an incredible amount of potential.
Whatever it is I was doing, because of my personal DNA, it had to be of an international standard, which is what, seriously speaking, is all about.
Hello there on Seriously Speaking today. People may think we've been doing a lot of government bashing in the past few weeks, but the truth is, I'm one of those that believes very strongly that government alone doesn't do it all. Government has its responsibilities, but all of us as individuals also have our responsibilities to ensure that things get done in this country, at least in your own sphere of influence. I have two people in the studios with me today to talk about how NGOs can help in developing the educational standard in our country. They have experience and they've done it quite well. And I'm wondering if NGOs like this are under threat of being eliminated, as some people think, because of the law that is going to be passed into bill very soon. What will happen? We'll come back on Seriously Speaking to talk to my two guests if you don't go away. Yes, welcome back. I am in the studios with Helen Lawson. I'll start with you, Helen Lawson. You're welcome to Seriously Speaking.
Thank you.
And Orondam Oto. Yes, they are both younger than me, if you're thinking. So who looks better, me or you people?
You look amazing.
Thank you, thank you. But I appreciate your coming on the show, especially at very short notice, especially Helen Lawson, who's never been on TV before.
Never.
Never, ever. But your work has brought you on TV today. And Helen actually is, as you can see where we write the name, she works with the Qatar Foundation, an NGO that's very focused on getting education across to boys and girls across Nigeria. They started in Lagos, right, Helen?
Yes.
Tell me about the Qatar Foundation before I continue. And Roseville, your new baby.
Okay. So, Qatar Foundation built White Sand School in the year
Lagos.
2000, yes. And now, Hill Range School started September 2000, yes, this year on the 13th of September. And now the next project is the Roseville Secondary School. And that's why I'm here today.
That's good enough.
To talk about Roseville.
But Roseville is just a baby.
Exactly.
In your mind for now. And Slum to School is who? Orondam Oto. Did I get that right?
Of course.
Orondam Oto. You know, from River State originally.
Yeah.
How did you end up in Lagos trying to get children out of the slums to school 5 years ago?
Yeah, so coming to Lagos 5 years ago, or 6 years ago, actually.
2012.
2011 was actually for my National Youth Service, which I think is an amazing program that helps young people, you know, leave their comfort zone and explore the beauty of our nation. And so I was posted to Lagos for my National Youth Service. I was working in a bank, and I've always, you know, been passionate about social development, community development, people development.
How did that happen to you? I'm curious, though. Sorry for stopping you, but I need to know how that happened to you. What makes somebody so... Yeah.
Yeah, because you're confronted with lots of issues around you. You know, you see that the nation you're growing up in is not as amazing and as perfect as you would expect it to be when you compare it with other developed nations. And it should just make you more curious to know what's to be done. You know, and so I grew up knowing that we needed to be the change we wanted to see, and we needed to be the solution that our nation, so our society needed. And, you know, I spent most of my years in the university doing lots of development projects and traveling to several communities. And when I came into Lagos for my National Youth Service, I was working in a bank. It was an amazing opportunity, you know. But I got to realize that there were lots of children who were out of school, and National Youth Service, as it should be service to your nation. And I asked myself, why am I here working in a bank, earning so much money, you know, whilst these children do not even have basic education that could get them...
How did you find them?
They were everywhere, on the streets, cleaning your windshield, you know, begging for alms. But one very striking moment for me was watching the Welcome to Lagos documentary sometime in 2010. And I got to see the Makoko community. And so when I came to Lagos, and there was a particular day I was going across the Third Mainland Bridge, and it's you know, I got to see that community, you know, physically. And I was like, this is actually that community I watched on that program.
So you stopped?
So I told myself I was going, it was actually, you know, huge traffic. Well, sometime, that week, I went into the community, and that was how, the reality stunned on me that something desperately needed to be done urgently.
And in the area of education, which is why I will bring Helen back on board. Education, you guys have done quite a good work with 2 school examples in Lagos, but you are an NGO. How did you build those 2 schools? And how do you intend to build the school you're trying to build in Enugu?
I think basically these schools have been built through the goodwill of Nigerians and then corporate.
How does it work?
We just beg. We ask them, we do letters, we give them brochures, we tell them what we're doing, and many people responded.
You know why I asked that? Because if you look at those 2 schools, they're like Ajabota schools, but I enjoy those education. I know it's some of the cheapest for that standard of school. The fees that we pay is not comparable to any school of that standard. So is that a deliberate action to ensure that?
Yes, it is, because if it's too high, the average families would not be able to afford such schools. And we're interested in everyone. And usually those schools give scholarships. In a class, you could have 5 children on scholarship, and many times those scholarships are given by individuals. So that's the way we actually...
That's the way it works. So for Roseville, which is in Enugu, I would have thought that this is okay for you guys.
Which one? The Lagos one?
Yeah.
No, that's not the plan. We need to go... if we want to change the country, we need to go everywhere. So we started in Lagos. Now we're in Enugu, and I can assure you we'll go to Anambra State, we'll go to Port Harcourt, we'll go to Abuja. So if we are able to build Roseville, then we'll go to some other states. So eventually we'll go. They're family-based schools. So usually what happens is that some parents get together and they say, really, we need to give our children a very good education. And they come together and they put their money where their mouth, and that's it. So they start off this project and then they ask other people to help. Roseville Primary School started in 2013. A group of parents just came together. They withdrew their children from other schools and they started the school. So now, 4 years later, Qatar Foundation has come in is a partnership with Uguazu. Uguazu is the foundation in Enugu. So they are the ones building Hill Range Secondary School and the Roseville Secondary School.
But Roseville is not starting now.
The Roseville Secondary School is starting September 2018.
Do you already have the money for that?
At all.
Okay, before I get to that, which brings me to the question of spreading across the country. Orondam started, I'm calling you Orondam because that's your first name.
Yeah.
Otto is your daddy's name, but we all call you Otto.
Yeah, it's good because I always say, you call Buhari, Buhari, you call Obama, Obama, you don't call their first name. So it's good people can get used to Otto. And also, it's easier for people to remember Otto because I tell someone...
Otto Lounge.
I tell someone, my name is Orondam, and they're like, Orondam, Orondam. So I spent 5 minutes trying to educate them on how to pronounce the name very well. So I'm like, Otto, if you can pronounce that, it's fine.
Otto, Otito. Anyway, Otto and Slum to School is not just in Lagos. It's not just in Makoko. You started from Makoko. You've expanded beyond Makoko. Yeah,
we have. And our goal is to expand across Africa. It's Slum to School Africa. And what that's a vision because, based on statistics, over 70% of out-of-school children, you find them in sub-Saharan Africa. And Africa still remains one of the most underdeveloped, societies across the world. Nigeria accounts for from one of the last reports by BBC, over 50% of out-of-school children.
From Nigeria or from Africa?
From Nigeria. And it's alarming to see these kinds of statistics.
No, are those statistics for real? From your groundwork, would you say that's true?
Yeah, for me, as an individual and for Slum School as an organization, the communities where we work, we can tell categorically that we see hundreds and thousands of out-of-school children. Recently, we launched a campaign to get 300 out-of-school children into school, and this was supposed to be done this year, which we actually just achieved. We had 341 enrolled into schools this month.
So what do? You go to the communities, you teach them something, or what do you do to get them get them back in school?
That's a long process. We have a field management team that works in communities with expertise, with volunteers, with leaders who understand working on the field, working in communities. And so one of the first things we do is advocacy. And after advocacy, meeting with the community leaders, setting up community-based volunteer teams and community forums. we do lots of advocacy programs, then begin to profile. So our goal was to get 300 children, for this term into school, but we ended up profiling over 500 children.
Just this term?
Yeah, just the session, academic session that's beginning. And because of limited access to funds, the capacity of the schools to take these children to, we were limited with just enrolling 341. If there are more schools, if there's more access to funding, we could build more schools. So you realize that in a community, for example, like Makoko, we have over 5,000 out-of-school children. You've done the census, and you can confirm that. ESPIN did that in 2013 and 14. And from our interaction with the community, I can tell you that there are over 10,000.
Why would these children be out of school? I'm interested in knowing what makes, from your work, have you found out why they're out of school? Lots of reasons. One is it's illiteracy, on the part of their parents. Poverty is also another major issue, because these parents feel, why do I send my child to school when this child can help me make money today? So they don't. So it's money. It's money-based. Yeah, that's on that issue. Do you understand what he's trying? I mean, yes. You know what? I take a break, and when I come back, I'm very curious about how you fund what you do. Both of you, how you fund it, and relate it also to the NGO bill we're talking about. How responsible are you with the funds that you've been given? I'll be right back with my guests if you don't go away. I know there are a lot of people who are working in these areas that these individuals are working. They're just examples. And also, they're examples of what you can do, no matter how small your space is. But then, like I said at the beginning, guys, government is not excluded from trying to do the right things, right? In deciding to do what you did, for example, I believe that the first NGO that set up the Lagoon School was the women-centered one as well, and it's Advancements of Women or whatever. NAWA, Nigerian Association for Women's Advancements. It's not like they had this plenty money, or they felt that government was not doing its role, or what was it that drove that? I think the idea was just to set up a school to train the girl child, to give an all-round formation to the girl child. So we started in 1995. The fact that you didn't have money, all the money you needed, didn't stop you? No, it didn't. It did not. Because we were sure we were going to get the money. We begged, as I said, and we did get the money. Of course, we also got loans, which we're still repaying. Now I still fundraising because, they're still building. If you go into the Lagoon School now, the construction is still going on because there are other facilities. Okay, I'm going to do you a favor. Yes. I'm going to scroll how they can help, because you are starting a new baby. I'll scroll how they can help, or they can reach you, your website or whatever, how they can help to help you build your new school. Believing that because you've succeeded on one side, you probably will succeed in the other areas. But, Otto, this is the time I want you to come in and tell me, why is it that government has to be helped? Yeah, Or should government be helped?
Yeah, of course, we are part of the government. And I always say this, most times, and I don't know if it's just me, but I feel, especially my generation, we are beginning to see governance or governments as an opposition. So it's government against the people. It's them against us. And I wouldn't blame, us, because that's communication. You grew up in that era. And it's top to bottom, or most times just throw these things at us. But I feel we are part of government, and we need to see this as a collective efforts of everyone, to build a society, to build a future that we'll all, be part of. So I would like to thank both of you for coming, and hope that my guests would have communicated to you who's watching that it's about what you can do to make your society better, but also you may be in a position of power someday. Do the right thing, starting from now. Thank you so much, Otto, for coming. Thank you for having me. Thank you, Helen, for being my guest on Seriously Speaking. Thank you. We've been seriously speaking about education and what the non-governmental sector can do to make it happen. That's been Seriously Speaking for today. We'll see you again.